Doesn't matter. Hello again, everybody.
Hello.
We are live. It is I, Hank Hayes, see? Gymnasium over there. And it is the Pirate Radio Guy podcast. Now, Jim, for the edification of people who might be relatively new to pirate radio, might be new to Gymnasium, Hank Hayes, might be new to the internets. Let's tell everybody just a quick background of who we are. We used to broadcast illegally. Now, what do you mean broadcast? Well, on the radio, for people that might be relatively new to radio. Remember radio, Jim? Radio is a little device, little electronic device that lets you listen to people from other parts of the world.
Right, or around the corner.
Or even around the corner. So, Gymnasium right here, my friend here, we've been lifelong friends, childhood friends, and now we're entering our second childhood, and we remain friends even in our second childhood. Well, when my family moved in next door to Gymnasium when I was only 2 years old, and Gymnasium and I became friends when I was about 6 or 7 or 8, and he was about 9 or 10 or 11. And something happened when Jim became a young teenager, and suddenly he brought me into his bedroom, and I was a little scared, Jim. I have to tell you, I may not have mentioned this to you. I was a little scared back then when you invited me into your bedroom. But my fears were allayed when you showed me this radio. You had taken your mother's clock radio, tabletop radio, and you had put wires inside of it, and this guy right here, unbelievable as it may sound, people, he figured out how to transmit with a radio. Okay, I say that all the time because it still is a pretty good thing. It's still a pretty amazing thing that you did as a young preteen and a teen. He figured out how to transform a receiver radio into a transmitter, and then he gave me the proof by transmitting from one room to another, and then he said, we're going to do a test. Do you remember any of this? He said, we're going to do a test at 6 o'clock. Yeah. Exactly 6 o'clock. I'm going to play Penny Lane by the Beatles. And by the way, was Penny Lane brand new at that time? It was relatively new.
Well,
it was one of our favorite songs. I know that.
Well, what year were you talking? 72?
I have no idea.
71, 72?
Maybe 77. But either way, Penny Lane,
it was only like 5 or 6 years old.
Right, so it's still current to us.
Yeah.
And I said to my father, I went into my father in my house. We had dinner. You know, my house, we had to have dinner. Old-fashioned Italian family. And I said, Dad, come in my Gymnasium next door. You know, Jim, my friend, he's going to play a record. He's going to play the Beatles on the radio. He says, what are you talking about? I'm not, really? So my father came in my bedroom. We had the radio on at 6 o'clock. Suddenly there was a signal at the prearranged frequency, at the prearranged time, and there is Penny Lane by the Beatles, and my father was astonished. How the hell is he doing that? Well, that was the very beginning. That was our literal inception into pirate radio. We did not have Jim, can I ask you a question? Did you have a license to broadcast on the radio on the AM and FM band from your bedroom?
Never. I didn't even have a CB license.
Never had without the benefit of a license. And then one thing led to another, and we realized that we could go on the radio and broadcast to each other, broadcast to the neighborhood, broadcast to our neighbors, our friends, even our enemies. But we really didn't have enemies when we were that young. That took a little while.
Yeah.
And one thing led to another, and we just kept growing and growing and expanding. And finally, we found ourselves on the AM band, on the top of the AM dial.
Top of the dial.
With a really good transmitter and a really good antenna system that allowed us to broadcast to the eastern half of the United States when we were just young teenagers. 15 years old, 18 years old, and we are broadcasting. We find ourselves being heard and taking phone calls, live phone calls on the air, from people from up in Maine, up in Toronto, Canada, North Carolina, Kentucky, the state of Kentucky. They were all hearing us live, and they were happy to call in. They were excited. Remember, we'd give out a telephone number.
There was no latency back then.
There was no latency, no. There was no packet. We weren't using packets. No. There wasn't a single packet.
The signal was traveling at a speed of 186,000 miles per second.
Is that like the speed of light?
Yeah.
It's fantastic, Jim. That is fantastic. That's like almost scientific.
Think about it for a second.
And so there we were. So we were able to do radio shows, playing music, talking, a lot like we do to this day. But broadcasting to the world. And the world responded. I have to say, Jim, the world absolutely responded.
Well, there was people used to listen to the radios, and that was one thing. And think about it, we were outside of the commercial band.
Not like we do. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
That was another guy. He sounded just like him. We were outside of the commercial band, or the band that, from left to right on your radio when you're looking at it. So we're above where the band ends. But the last station is, the last licensed station is. We're above that. People found us. It was amazing how, people would go that far up the dial. And instantly, like that, boom.
There you were.
Listeners, callers.
And then we were fortunate enough to figure out a way, because, we became underground broadcasters, all right? And when you enter the underground in broadcasting, like probably many other aspects of other underground things, you meet other people interested, and they give you tips. And someone gave us a tip. Hey, you know what? If you want to take a phone call without having your phone line traced, here's a way to do it. That was like an underground telephone company thing.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic. It was perfect for us because we could give out a telephone number, and we gave out the telephone number a lot. And we get phone calls. We even have a phone number here we might open up later. But, now back in the day, like when my family, my friends, or my father, my sister would say to someone, just an average person that you might be having a conversation with, or a neighbor, or a friend, a friend of the family, and they'd say, "Oh yeah, Hank, Hank is a pirate. Hank has a pirate radio station." And the average person back then, I would get this a lot. The reaction would be, "What do you mean you got a pirate? What does that mean?" And they'd look at me. "What do you mean? What does that mean, pirate station? What do you take over a radio station? What do you take over a radio station?
Where's your parrot and your eye patch?"
Did you ever get that one? Did you ever get that question? What do you take over a radio station?
No, I never got that.
Oh, I must have got that a dozen times. And I would smile. We're in the candy store. We're in the luncheonette having a lunch, having luncheon. We're luncheoning at the luncheonette. And we might mention, yeah, my brother, he's got a pirate radio station. And they would look at me and say, "What does that mean, pirate? What do you take over a radio station?" As if they think we go in with guns and take over a radio station. And then I'd have to say,
overthrowing a radio station. Locking the doors as it's our station.
I'd have to give a general answer that they might comprehend, with the look of confusion on their face. And I would say, no, we have a transmitter, And people understood what a transmitter was because CBs were out. So people would have a CB. So I'd say, well, we have a transmitter and we go on the radio. "Yeah, but where do you go? Well, what station do you go? What do you..." And I says, well, we found a frequency that the frequency is clear. Not many. Ooh, there were not many frequencies clear.
No.
We found one of the clear frequencies.
Clear channel.
And we broadcast. And, then the person would be interested or they would be confused, and we'd move along. Well, that's where we are now. So that's where we began. That is where we began. When? 50 years ago, right this second. 50 years ago, right this second. December 1975. So we are in the 51st year since that happened.
Yeah, we're in the middle of May now, right? Just about.
A lot of fun things. Now, before that, before we were into radio, we were into music and the Beatles, and it all went together because the Beatles had such a huge impact on radio.
And on music in general. I mean,
right.
On me. Changed
music,
my life.
As big as the Beatles were, earth-shaking, earth-shattering with music, they also were earth-shattering with radio. Right, with WABC and all the stations in New York were vying to be like the Beatles station. You had, what's his name, the fifth Beatle?
Murray the K.
Murray the K. What was he on, WMCA?
I think he was on INS at the time.
Ooh, so Murray the K tried to, called himself the fifth Beatle, and he hung around with the Beatles when they came to America. And then WABC, they went outside and they had live remotes from outside where the Beatles were staying at the Waldorf Astoria, with all the kids screaming and singing the jingles. And you and I, we were eating this all up. We were in there, man. We were part of that fad. And then in the next decade, in the 70s, we were doing the broadcasting. And what did we do? We played a lot of Beatles because we love the Beatles. And we love rock and roll.
Absolutely.
So that continued on and on. But the problem is when, remember I met Jim, I mentioned that one thing, that little detail, that we did not have a license. It was highly illegal.
Small little problem.
Jim, was it legal in any sense of the word to broadcast with a transmitter from your bedroom to broadcast to the eastern half of the United States?
Legally, no.
Absolutely not, correct?
Correct.
Does the what part of the government? As a little quiz, what part of the government controls broadcasting in the United States of America?
The Federal Communications Commission.
That would be
the FCC.
Yes, the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission.
They like the DMV of radio.
Right. They're in charge of giving out they give out the licenses.
Yeah. They regulate.
They regulate the frequencies. Because let's face it, Jim, I mean, in reality, not everybody could just go on. It would be pandemonium. You wouldn't hear anything. You would hear just everybody on top of each other, and it would be crazy.
I believe it started out that way.
It did because
the band was wide open.
Kind of like the internet. The internet in the beginning was like the wild days. It was free and open, everybody doing everything. Well, sooner or later, if you're going to broadcast, even though you're broadcasting from your bedroom in the Marlboro Projects near Coney Island, Brooklyn, the FCC is going to take notice. The federal government is going to take notice.
Yep.
And the federal government in this case did take notice.
They have monitoring stations.
The federal government, still to this day, they have monitoring stations all around the country, including one in New York City. And they would get reports, and they would get wind. They get wind, and they were kind of a slow-moving organization.
Yeah, bureaucracy, typical.
And they have field agents. They have field engineers that run out in the cars. They have little cars they can try to detect. They detect the frequency.
Yeah.
And they try to track you down and figure out where you're coming from. And, of course, if you make the mistake that we made on our first big station, WCPR, and give out your home phone number, well, you're going to get a visit from the FCC the following week, because you give out a home phone number, you might as well not stop there. You might as well give out your address, your Social Security card, your Social Security number, your Medicare number, give the whole thing out.
Your Medicaid number.
Because you're going to be visited. They're going to track you down right off the bat. So that's what happened with our first station. The FCC, in the form of 2 agents, came and they visited us, and they told our parents, they told your parents, this is not allowed. You're not allowed. And then one of the FCC agents at the field office, his name was Judah Mansbach. Now, Judah Mansbach decided, for some reason, that he did not like us at all. Like, he took a
special dislike.
Oh, a special dislike. He made it his life's goal. In Judah Mansbach's life, now I don't know much about Judah Mansbach's personal life. I don't know. Okay, field FCC agent Judah Mansbach.
What's that movie that I think is a French movie or something where the Liam Neeson plays the guy? He escapes from prison, but it's back in the 1800s or something. And there was one policeman that he says I know he's there. I know he found where he was. And he says I could prove it to him, but he couldn't prove it right away. It was like he was following him everywhere.
Followed him around the world.
Yes. Around the world.
That's a famous story. The Liam Neeson was just one version of that movie.
Yeah.
Is it The Count of Monte Cristo?
No.
Is it that one? All right, you look that up, because I can't do 5 things at once. See if you could look that up. It's a famous story, yes, where this guy escapes from prison. It turns out the guy stole like a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
He stole a loaf of bread, and from one thing leading to another, he got like life in prison. He escapes from prison, and this one cop follows him around the world to catch him. Well, that's how Judah Mansbach was.
Yes.
Judah Mansbach was like that.
And even his superiors said, "What do you just leave him alone. It's all right. In other words, he had to convince them, and he would go out on his own to try to catch him.
You know what else it's like? It's like the TV show The Fugitive, starring David Jansen. Do you remember The Fugitive at all?
Yes.
Dr. David Banner, I think his name was, something like that. But his wife is murdered, and he's accused of murdering his wife. Now, from the beginning of this show, and this was a Quinn Martin production, by the way, that David Jansen is innocent. he saw his wife murdered by the man with the mysterious one-armed man. But he was convicted with circumstantial evidence. And then, of course, there was like a train crash when he's being transported to prison. And he gets out, and he runs away, and he becomes the fugitive. Well, the cop that he ran away from was so offended. The cop was like Judah Mansbach. This cop followed him around the country, around the world. He would follow him to the moon. David Jansen could go into and become an astronaut and be circling the moon. He'd be the one guy that has to sit and, like Mike Collins, and has circled the moon while everybody else goes down and lands on the moon. And somehow...
He plays golf.
This cop would come up and attach himself outside. He would do a spacewalk, and he would attach himself and hold on with magnets to the capsule, and he would be looking at David Jansen saying, I got you, I caught you, I'm going to do anything. Well, that was Judah Mansbach. That was FCC agent Judah Mansbach when it came to Nazium and Hank Case. And I have Judah Mansbach right here. He called in, and he left us this message one time.
This is the Federal Communications Commission. We've been listening to the nonsense you've been doing on the air. We know who you are. We're going to get you. I advise you to get off the air.
We're going to get you, Jim. That's what he says. We're going to get you.
But he gave us a way out. He said he advised us to get off the air.
You know, it's possible.
Some advice.
Let me ask you this. When we got that message, and we know it's Judah because we met Judah many times in person when he came and busted us and argued with us, so we know that it's Judah. There's no question. When he left us that message, what do you think would have happened if we took his advice and stopped going on the air? If we got off the air? Maybe he would have had no reason to come after us anymore.
Right.
That's the only way we could have got Judah Mansbach off our back.
Well, he was losing sleep because we would still go on. And he just wanted to get a good night's sleep. He didn't want to have agita, every time he ate his dinner. And if we just went away, he wouldn't have to sit in his car up to 2 o'clock in the morning every night at different times, different points of time, waiting for us to go on the air.
Now, all we wanted to do, you and I don't know about other pirates, because there have been other pirates. There were pirate radio broadcasters before us. And there are pirate radio broadcasters now, to this day.
Oh, they're blatant. They play commercials.
So... A wise man once said, as long as there is radio, there will be pirates.
Confucius said that, didn't he?
I think Confucius did say that in the 6th century BC. I think that's one of the things that Confucius said.
All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream.
A dream within a dream, Gymnasium. That's Orson Welles, ladies and gentlemen. That is Orson Welles. So there's been pirates. There were pirates before us. There were pirates after us. But you're looking at us. We are the pirate radio guys. We're the pirate radio guys from Brooklyn. Now, what, the motivation, we didn't have political reasons to go on. The reason I thought of other pirates, because a lot of them were political. I mean, especially in the 60s and early 70s when you had the Vietnam War raging and all the protests in the country. And the left-wing radicals protesting and taking over college campuses. There were plenty of radical left-wing pirates who would tell you right off the bat that their legal IDs basically were saying, we are the resistance, we are fighting for freedom, the Queen's, what was it, the Queen's Revolution movement or something,
Meanwhile, England had ships off the coast. Pirates, and they're playing rock and roll.
Well, England is a whole different story. Every country manages the airwaves in their own way, and England has its own situation. We are, of course, the American pirates. But Queen's Liberation Movement, or Queen's Liberation Broadcasting, like Mike Flagg said one night, what do they want to liberate Queens from? What does the borough of Queens, what does it have to be liberated from? I never, so we weren't into that. We simply wanted to provide the airwaves with something that we felt was missing.
That's right. There was another thing, because radio was changing fast in the early 70s.
Mm-hmm. Remember we mentioned the Beatles and radio, and rock and roll and radio and fun and DJs having a great time. In the 70s, that started to change, and it started to go away. Radio station programmers started to suppress the disc jockey and you had less and less personality until it finally disappeared. And you had less and less fun, and that was bothering you and I, because I'll tell you what, once I got the radio bug, I had it in mind that I'd like to be a DJ. That would be fun. But as I approached working age, you know, as I was approaching where I can go to college, if I was lucky, and maybe get a job in radio, it was like, that's not the radio, that's not the industry that I wanted to be a part of. It changed so much.
Right.
So our motivations, we needed to, it definitely had a need to have a good time, a need to have a good time on the radio, and we couldn't do it legally. I'll tell you what, if I could have done it legally, I would have done it legally. I did try in the mid-'80s.
You did.
In the mid-'80s, I got a job in legal radio, and I tried, and I'll tell you what, Jim, it was torturous. It was literally torturous.
But the funny thing is, Hank Hayes was hired based on air checks of him on a pirate station where he's going wild. He's just being Hank Hayes. He's playing music, jingles, and just doing goofy stuff. And this guy was so excited. He says, "We got to hire him. Get him here." You know. So you can continue from there.
Well, that's it, because the landscape had changed. If radio was still like it was in the mid and late 60s, and maybe the early 70s, then I might have been hired and been able to do my version of that type of radio.
Yeah.
But when I did finally get in, it had gone to, you have to be quiet, you have to only say 5 or 6 things over and over again, and
But,
you know,
on your first show, were you told before the first show, or was it during the first show?
while I was on the air.
Wow. So on your first show, you knew you had to tone it down a little bit, but you were still being yourself. And being
Right, it's my first air shift.
Yeah.
The program director who hired me is there. We've gone through everything. You know, right off the bat, he said, "Listen, Hank, we just listened to an air check of HOT. Hank Hayes going full-blown wild." And he said, "I love it. I absolutely love it. You got so much talent." He goes, "Now, of course, you know, you're not going to be able to do that. What we just heard, you can't do that here on WSTC in Stamford, Connecticut." And of course, I said, "Oh, I know this. Goes without saying. Absolutely." He goes, "But we want to have a good time. We want to have a hot wax weekend. We want to play rock and roll for the kids. I mean, think about it, you know."
Yeah.
He goes, "So now, on the next Saturday, at 6 a.m., I was on 6 to 10 in the morning, and I opened up the Hot Wax Weekend." So the station went from news and talk and weather. At 6 a.m., we come out of the news. I open the mic. I introduce myself. "My name is Hank Hayes. It's the Hot Wax Weekend on 1400 WSTC. I go into the Beach Boys, and the door opens, and it's Bill White, the program director, and he says, you know, he's giving me thumbs up, a lot of support. He says, "That was great, Hank." He goes, "Listen, I never heard anybody talk up an 8-second intro before." And I thought he was saying it as a compliment, and I said, yeah. And he goes, "No, you know, you don't have to do that, 8 or 10 seconds. No, we don't need that." All right, so that was the first thing. Play a few more records. I say my usual thing. I have to always open the mic. This was the rule of the station. The first and last thing you say. Did I ever tell you this? Mm-hmm. The first and last thing you say, whenever you talk, the first thing has to be 1400 WSTC, and the last thing you say has to be 1400 WSTC. So God forbid you were having chest pains and there were no phones and there was no cell phone, and you said, "I need an ambulance." When you open the mic, you can't just say, "Wait, I'm having a heart attack, please. Call 911. No, you would be in trouble. What you have to say is 1400 WSTC.
You could say that, but you have to end it with,
"I'm having a heart attack. Somebody, please call an ambulance. 1400 WSTC. Okay?
That was a good one.
So then I said my name. My name is Hank Hayes. Jim, what's my name? My name is Hank Hayes.
his name, Hank Hayes.
What's your name, Jim?
My name, Gymnasium.
So now I said this. My name is Hank Hayes on 1400 WSTC. Your weather station and a big hot wax weekend is the Beatles on 1400 WSTC. And the door opens up, and it's Bill White again. And he goes, "Oh, Hank, doing great, man. Listen, Hank, whenever you say your name, you're saying, 'My name is Hank Hayes. My name is Hank Hayes.'" And I said, yeah. And he says, listen, it sounds kind of weird. It sounds weird. What I want you to say, you should say, I'm Hank Hayes. Say, I'm Hank Hayes. Don't say my name is Hank Hayes anymore. Say, I'm Hank Hayes. Thanks a lot. Doing a great job. Door closes. And I said this before. To this day, I listen to Casey Kasem, the late Casey Kasem, American Top 40, one of the greatest DJs, one of the greatest voice actors in the world, one of the greatest DJs with one of the biggest syndicated radio shows of all time. The king of syndicated radio, Casey Kasem. And do you know what Casey Kasem says when he says his name? Guess what, Jim? He says, my name is Casey Kasem. That's what he says.
Bill White didn't open the door and ask him. He says, you do great, but can you just say,
Right. Did Bill White ever write to Casey Kasem? Listen, Casey, you're fantastic. You're a multimillionaire, and you're fantastic. You created syndicated radio. But it's weird when you say, my name is Casey Kasem. I bet, Casey, I want you to say, I'm Casey Kasem. I'm Casey Kasem. Now, did Casey Kasem ever say, I'm Casey Kasem? Yes, he did. Maybe 1 out of 100 times, because I listen every day to Casey Kasem to this day on XM or somewhere. There's on
it's iHeart.
iHeartRadio has a fantastic American Top 40 channel, and they play, and I listen every day in the car. 99 times out of 100, he says, my name is Casey Kasem, and this is AT Top 40. Once in a while, you'll hear, I'm Casey Kasem.
And where are those pictures I was supposed to see? Is that Don? Is Don on the phone?
Now, listen, don't get me wrong. We're not looking for sympathy. We are not, when we talk about getting busted by the FCC, when we talk about radio being horrible to work in.
We know the risks.
We're not looking for sympathy. And Jim, do you remember our crazy friend Burke, Middle Bill, guy used to hang out?
Yeah.
Remember, Middle Bill worked at the Salumeria around the corner from where I lived. Remember?
Yes.
And the Salumeria was owned by Tina and Freddie. Freddie and Tina owned the Salumeria. They were self-made. They were immigrants to the United States from Italy, and nobody worked harder than Freddie and Tina, building their fortune. They may have wound up being very wealthy, but they never stopped working 15, 16, 17 hours a day. The reason I bring them up is because
you're getting me hungry, that's what.
We were, just the word Salumeria. Yeah. We were, there was after we got busted, one of our major busts.
You can smell the cold cuts, whatever it is. Yeah.
The salami. After one of our major busts, CBS TV had a TV show, and they did a little piece about us, about Jim Nazium and Hank Hayes being busted by the FCC, being busted by Judah Mansbach. Judah Mansbach appears in this program. You see him. And so there we were, like the neighborhood, the neighborhood kid is on TV and everybody's watching. And Freddie, the owner of the Salumeria, you know what he says to me?
What?
After everybody else says, hey, Hank, fantastic. That was so great. That was so funny seeing you. You played records and you did all this fun stuff. And Freddie looks at me because that was all about us being busted. That's all. That segment was what? It was about here's a couple of kids from Brooklyn. They want to play rock and roll, and here's the FCC agents coming after them, and now they're shut down and they can't do it. They're getting in trouble. Freddie's the only person. He looked at me and he says, so what do you want? What do you want? You want sympathy? Is that what you're looking for? You're looking for sympathy? And I thought to myself, am I looking for sympathy? I really wasn't. I don't know about you. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't looking for sympathy telling our story about being, unable to broadcast. I was just saying this is what I did and this is what happened. To me, it's an interesting story. But he looked at it as, in other words, you know what he was trying to say? He was saying, what's stopping you? Nobody's stopping you from being, you want to be a DJ, you want to own, even, he's the kind of guy, he would tell you, I came here from Italy with nothing. Now I own a house, I own 5 cars, my 3 kids are going to college, I have the successful business. What is the matter with you? Why don't you go and get yourself a radio station? What do you think? Because I'm going to feel bad for you because you did something against the law and the FCC says you can't do it anymore? I'm going to have sympathy for you? Go out and do it. But it took 40 years for me to realize that was the complete thing of what he was saying. At first I was a little confused because I'm certainly not looking for sympathy. Mm-hmm. And we're still not looking for sympathy now. It's just what we did. And I wound up, personally, I did wind up going into radio. I couldn't do on air because it just was not, the format wasn't there. You know, like if I was into singing opera, or if I was into singing middle, what would you say? Music from songs from the Middle Ages. I'm going to sing songs from the Middle Ages. Nobody wants to hear these songs but me. I could go on the radio and do it. No one's going to listen. So I could not do what I wanted to do on the radio legally. But I did wind up having, thankfully, I did have a career in radio. But I was never looking for sympathy. I don't think you were looking. Well, maybe you might. I don't know. I got to ask you. Were you like? What would you have said to Freddie if he looked at you and said, "Okay, yeah, I saw you. I saw that thing on TV last night. What do you want? Sympathy? You want people to feel bad for you?"
No, I'd probably say I'm never shopping here again.
No, but I mean, aside from that, like, what is it you want? What were you looking for?
No, I wasn't. I just was looking to be on the air. That's all.
Okay.
Not looking for sympathy.
Right, I agree. I don't think you were looking for sympathy, because then what does sympathy get you?
We knew the risks, you know.
Absolutely.
We knew that we were going to be taken off at some point, but we continued to do it. Yeah, we went back on, and we were on for. This was like the early times, right? What station would you say it was?
That was WHRT. Remember, we shot we shot the No Holds Barred piece.
That's right.
When WHRT was brand new, it was only a few months old.
That's right. So it was around that time period, right?
Yes, it was.
So we had many years after that.
Oh yeah, that was only the beginning.
Yeah, that was like touching on the beginning.
But we weren't. You know, I just wanted to point that out because we could have to be in radio at that time. Here's another aspect. All the people I know that went into radio and literally made it to the top, including made it to Z100, the top. That was number one in New York. You know, the top is number one, whoever's number one in New York. If the number one station in New York was a Light FM station, then you would want to be a Light FM DJ because you'd be number one. Well, we knew someone that made it to Z100, number one. And I don't know where was I going with that?
I have no idea.
Neither do I.
I don't have the roadmap.
We'll come back to it. This is what happens when you get old. Remember I said our second childhood. But, let's do this. Let us do this. I have that segment on CBS television.
Oh, geez.
You're about to watch. Now, let's get ready for this, ladies and gentlemen. You are about to see a little segment on a TV show. It was called No Holds Barred, which was really a clone for the mega hit. The mega ABC TV show was Real People. Remember that one?
Yeah.
So ABC had Real People, where they started, doing little segments about real people around the country. So CBS, of course, this is what they do in television. They have to copy. CBS came out with their version of Real People. It was called No Holds Barred. And here they do a segment shot in 1980, I believe.
Yeah.
Or it's thereabouts.
Yeah.
And you're going to see Hank Hayes as Hal Hall, Jim Nazium as Larry McRae. You're going to see Judah Mansbach as Judah Mansbach, and you're going to see Alexander Zimny as Alexander Zimny. Those are the two FCC agents that came and busted us. So let's take a look at that. What do you think, Jim?
All right, you should preface this by the production value of this went in a different direction than we thought it was going to go in. It was very silly in the way they put this together.
You mean the little car chase?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll talk about that after.
Yeah.
So here it is. Let's go back to 1980 or 81.
Our studio was set up. We were ready. We had a transmitter at this point. And you should say that they wanted us to go on the air. Remember that? They wanted us to go on the air, and they were going to film it. And then they looked into it. They said, no, we can't do that. The lawyers said we can't do that. Do you remember that?
Of course.
And that would be
we could have easily just turned the we had, even though we had busted. This is a story about us getting busted. But we had already moved our location, and we had already started a new station. So we had new transmitters, new antennas. We had everything new, a new studio. And CBS originally said, "Oh, it's going to be great. You guys we're going to record you while you're doing a live show. This is going to be great." But, of course, the lawyers at CBS said, excuse me, no, we don't want you promoting or, telling them to do something illegal. So it's going to have to be a reenactment. And they even have to put underneath, you'll see, reenactment. Mm-hmm. But here is the two of us in our WHOT studio, but we are performing and telling the story of being busted as WFAT. All right, you ready for this one, Jim? Let's do it. I mean, the time comes when you have to do it, okay?
Yeah.
You know how it is when you get to that stage in life when it has to be done. So we're going to do it now. And now, ladies and gentlemen, CBS Television presents Hank and Jim doing what they like to do. Yes, no, maybe. What is the wrong? Let's see. See, this doesn't happen. This didn't happen back in the day, Jim.
No.
It happened to me now. What do you call this?
That's a black screen.
Do I have to restart this program? You talk for a minute.
All right. Anyway, this was on CBS. That's the Columbia Broadcasting System, which is still in business today. And what do you call it? It
doesn't like this file, maybe. Go ahead. Keep going.
It's actually the CBS television network. This was seen all over the country.
I think it doesn't like this file. I'm going to have to find a different file. I do have it.
Oh, okay. Is it an MP3? MP3. MP4?
Reliving. That's not it. No, keep going. Do you remember the host of No Holds Barred?
What's his name?
Kelly Monteith. He was a stand-up comic.
Yes. Where is he today?
Just talk for a minute. I know I have it. I'll just have to find it, Jim.
So anyway, this show was on. It was on a bad time too. It had no chance of success.
Was it on a Friday?
Friday night, like 11:30. It was late.
Wow.
It was before they had any talk show, so they were up against Carson. Right? He was still on in '80. No, was he?
Of course.
Yeah. So they're up against these big shows. And they put it on, and I guess CBS knew it was only going to be 6 episodes. It only lasted, I think, 6 episodes.
I think we were on the next to last one.
Yeah. And the show really wasn't that good anyway. I mean, but we were on it, and we told everybody. Our family, friends, our enemies. No, we didn't have too many enemies yet.
Okay, I think I have it now. Hopefully it'll work this time. Let's all... like Long John would say, let's all listen in.
What is this? I mean, you guys don't have any commercials? Is this a real station?
Well, what this is a pirate station. Illegal.
Illegal?
There's an old show business expression you say when you're out of work. I couldn't get arrested. Well, here's some kids that can. They run a pirate radio station in Brooklyn, New York.
The FCC is a regulatory agency. Oftentimes, there are certain stations that go on the air that don't belong where they are. And it is our job to locate these stations and to close them down. Pirate stations place themselves right at the edge of the broadcast band. This is done so that the normal listener can turn his radio just slightly beyond the AM broadcast band and hear the pirate station. Our office has a directional roof antenna. It can detect where a signal is coming from.
With your transistor radio, everybody has a good time. You can dance to the beat of the transistor radio, even if the sun don't shine. Oh yeah, we love the pirate stations. We love the pirate stations. We love the pirate stations. Don't let them take them away.
Any station that is on the air without permission is taken very seriously by the Commission because they are a source of interference to existing stations.
We operated a pirate station called WCPR. The mistake we made with that was we had a schedule, and the FCC knew when we'd be on, so they tracked us down very quickly, 7 weeks.
When my son came into the bedroom, told me that FCC was coming up, well, I just was terribly frightened.
He came over to me, he says, your son broke the law. You can get a $10,000 fine or 1 year in prison.
We went back on the air one night. It's WFAT.
We decided to do it one night and one night only. But when we did it, it was like an alcoholic taking another drink. We just couldn't stop.
This is WFAT, New York.
In New York City, we entertain you. So plan your weekend with music music and us.
Live from New York, this is WFAT. Hello again, everybody. My name is Larry McRae.
My name is Hal Hall.
And we're going to be sitting here playing music, taking phone calls.
Okay, I am picking up something at about 16:20. No, it sounds like a man talking.
Hello, you're live on the air.
Hi.
Hi. Yes,
Hello.
you're on the air.
My name is Cynthia. I'm calling from Queens.
Queens.
How you doing? I was tuning down the dial, and I came to 1620. What is this? I mean, you guys don't have any commercials? Is this a real station?
Oh, what this is a pirate station.
Illegal.
Illegal?
No
It's
license.
operating from a ship.
A ship? Where?
Someplace in New York City.
Wow, it sounds great. I love it.
Hey, is there anything...
Mobile unit number 1, this is the base station. What's your location? Over.
And now the fantastic
That's why we play
animation.
half the time here at WFAT.
Can you take a bearing and get back to me? Over. Base to mobile number 2. What's your location? Over.
Radio into you creeps with your childish nonsense on the air. I can't believe people like you have the audacity.
Well, thanks for calling anyway.
That's what we do to them, Fat.
Oh, hello. How you doing, Hal?
Okay, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Staten Island. My name is Mitch.
Staten Island.
How are we coming in at Staten
Oh,
Island?
you're coming in fine. You're doing about a...
Are you able to pick up a signal on the ground?
It's
Over.
really weird. I was wondering...
Yeah, I'm your end of the mode, please. Can I get
New York City.
Somewhere in New York City.
Somewhere in New York. Well,
Try and find us. We would operate between the hours of midnight and 6 a.m. That's the best time to operate for us because one reason is the FCC is asleep. It feels like they're the bad guys and we're the good guys, and they're coming after us, and we're trying to run away.
Well, because, see, we actually went on the air in the beginning to have fun.
Fight for the pirate stations. Please don't take them away. Don't take them away. Don't take them away. Please don't take them away.
Hey, that song was dedicated to FCC. How'd you like that?
As soon as we stop them, there's always someone out there to start up another station.
As long as there's radio, there will be pirates.
That fantastic animation. Fantastic animation. Ladies and gentlemen, there it is. There it is. There it was. There it was in all its glory. The Columbia Broadcasting System version of pirate radio. What?
No, nothing. I just got the audio for a few seconds.
What?
You're good.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you. That was a lot of fun.
The good old days.
So that's CBS TV's version of the FCC chasing us around with using real FCC agents.
Yes.
It literally had Hank and Jim, the two pirates, literally being pursued and chased by the actual FCC agents, including FCC engineer Judah Mansbach.
This is the Federal Communications Commission. We've been listening to the nonsense you've been doing on the air. We know who you are. We're going to get you. I advise you to get off the air.
Well, we did not take that advice, Judah. Sorry. Now, Jim, I've got a little surprise for you. You know, one of the things that I love about YouTube is reaction videos. You ever watch reaction videos? It's a thing. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. I've watched many of them.
I mean, like, and it's amazing because they play music, and I don't know, but they do. It's so much fun to watch young people have reactions, like the first time hearing the Beatles or the first time hearing whatever, real music and fun stuff like that. Just curious, what are some of the reaction videos that you've really enjoyed? Any stand out in your mind?
Yes, a lot of them that have no concept of what it was back then, the music. When they're watching it, and sometimes it's a live performance or it's lip synced, whatever. Sometimes it's the record, but they always say there's such emotion.
Yeah,
it says wow, and the concept of real musicians. This guy, when it's live, there's a real band playing, or there's strings in the background. Yeah, and they're seeing this, and it's like it's foreign to them. That was how music was back then,
right?
And like I watched a few of them of a couple. It was usually a man and a woman listening and watching the Righteous Brothers doing "You Lost That Loving."
I was about to say that's one of the greatest.
Yeah.
There's one where somebody took them and put them all in a row. It's like 20 minutes worth of all these young people watching one section of the Righteous Brothers. What does he say? Girl, I can't make it without you. And baby, and they get choked up. Some of them get literally choked up. Yeah. So one of the first reaction videos I ever saw was a young black guy, a musician, and he says, people been telling me I should really listen to this song and do a reaction video, and he did. He had never heard the song before in his life. Lynyrd Skynyrd, Freebird. He says, I don't know what to expect. He says, but everybody's telling me I got to listen to this. And I sat there and I was riveted watching this guy, listening to Freebird. And then when the guitars come in and he's getting blown away. And, Freebird, you really got to, it's not a song you could jump in and out of. I mean, me personally, if I'm going to listen to Freebird, I says, okay, first of all, do I have time? Do I have, whatever it's 5-6 minutes? Do I have the time? Yes, I have nothing scheduled. I have to look at my calendar. I don't have anything scheduled, so I'm going because I want to pay attention and get the entire experience of Freebird. Now I'm watching this guy. He went crazy. He literally went crazy. I loved it. Well, we're going to do a little reaction video of our own right here on YouTube and on our flagship station, vaugh.live/Hank and Jim. We are going to do a little reaction video of our own right now. There's a little surprise. Gymnasium had no idea about this, but we're going to do it, Jim.
I must have missed the meeting.
You did. You only come. Jim sits down 3 minutes to air.
I didn't get the memo.
Today you got here a little earlier. That was nice, like 10-15 minutes to air. That was nice.
I wasn't briefed on this. I had enough time to see the memo.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's all enjoy this. It's Warner Brothers version in the 1940s. And I want to point this out. It's the Federal Communications Commission chasing and tracking down a signal. Okay?
All right.
They made a major motion picture, probably Academy Award winning, a major motion picture where they depict the FCC agents in the field tracking down a pirate signal and trying to catch the people, trying to locate where this transmitter is. And I want to tell you, this is the idea. This is what Judah Mansbach thought he was. When you see the FCC agent and agents armed, chasing and tracking, this is in Judah Mansbach's mind. He thinks, that's me. That's me. And I'll tell you what, if Judah was here right now, I would have Judah on this podcast, and he would probably get an erection from watching the FCC track down this thing. But here it is. It's from the movie White Heat. Let's all enjoy at the same time. Now, just to set it up, there is an undercover FBI agent who is embedded with the bank robbers, okay?
He infiltrated.
Right.
And he pretended he was,
He's embedded with Jimmy Cagney. Jimmy Cagney is the head of the gang, and he's the guy they want. They're going to go on a mission, and the undercover FCC agent, whose name, by the way, what's his name, Jim? His name is Hank. His name is Hank.
That's right.
I had no idea. When I chose my name, Hank Hayes, I did not remember that this FCC agent's name, this FBI agent's name is Hank. But he's undercover with the gang. They're hiding in a truck. They're hiding in an oil tanker. And they're on their way to the big oil refinery. And they're going to go in there and sneak into the refinery. And they're going to rob the $300,000 payroll. Big money at that time. And this agent had hidden a transmitter underneath the truck, and this transmitter is sending out a signal, and he has to get word to the FCC. The signal is on. Track us down. We're in motion. Track us down. And he goes to a gas station, and he uses lipstick, and he writes on the gas station mirror a message to please call the FBI. Let them know the signal is on. And we're going to start from the moment right there. You see a guy washing the windshield. That's the old days when the gas station attendant would wash your windshield.
Oh, the guy did that to me last time I got gas.
Well, here in New Jersey, that's nice.
Yeah.
And here's a customer the customer just used the restroom, and he comes out to tell the gas station attendant, hey, somebody's playing a joke on you. Go read what's on the mirror in the bathroom. And you are going to see the Hollywood version in the 40s of what the FCC is like. And remember, this is Judah Mansbach's dream gymnasium. Mm-hmm. Okay, you ready? Let's go. We're going to roll it. Let's point out, the FCC at that time, is that a Dodge? Wait a minute, HUD. I think that's a Hudson. I think it's a Hudson. Can we count the letters in the... Can we count the letters on the hood? How many letters are on that hood? Let's see if we can do that, Jim, real quick.
You have a magnifying glass.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that could be H. It could be HUD. No. PLY. No. It's not a Hudson. It's not a Plymouth. It's not a Dodge. What is it?
Is it a Tucker?
TUCK. No, it can't be Tucker. It's 7 letters. Is it possible? Is it possible? It's a Packard? No. PACK. It could be a Packard. It could be a Packard. Packard was a luxury car. I don't know. But anyway, that's the FCC. All right? Of course, that's the FCC version in the 1940s. That tanker. That's the transmitter. Wait, there's the transmitter, Jim. Can I do it? Yes. Oh, I just missed it. All right, let me see if I can back up. We have to see the transmitter, Jim. Did you notice there it is. There's the transmitter. Now let's take a look at this transmitter.
Yeah.
What do we notice? I see these 2 tubes. You see the 2 tubes there?
Yep.
Is it possible those are mercury vapor tubes?
No.
They have some kind of...
They have caps on them, right?
Yeah, but it's all shiny on top, like that metal. Like the metal when it's shiny on top.
It's too small on my monitor.
Oh, Jim, come on. Look right here. Look right up here. You see the shine?
Too far away.
You see the reflection, the light?
Oh, no, it's just... the light is reflecting off of... It's a metallic on the top. It's like... You ever see tubes like that?
Yes.
Yeah. It's got like a metallic thing around it.
So there's the 2 tubes, right?
Yeah.
And then what's that metal can above the tubes?
That looks like some kind of tuning can. Like, remember the grid current can?
Yeah.
In our transmitter, the AM transmitter? Similar to that. It could be. I don't know.
And now moving to the right, what's that big square, that tall square thing?
Don't know what that is.
It looks like it has some adjustments on it.
Yeah.
Then there's an empty tube socket.
Couple empty,
empty tube socket there. One of 2 empty tube sockets. Then there's another can with a little dial on top.
Yeah.
Then there's something else.
That could be a capacitor, the can.
And then in the back, what do you see in the back there, Jim? It looks like a dry cell battery. It says it says power on it.
Uh-huh.
This is a battery operated transmitter. Okay.
What's all the way on the left?
What are those 3 things on the left?
I don't know.
Maybe crystals? Who knows? That is the transmitter. That transmitter is hidden underneath and is currently broadcasting a signal. And this is what Judah Mansbach in 1946 is trying to track down. To catch Hank, must have stopped 30 Avenue V, West 12th and Avenue V in the building 2. I knew it was them. Judah, you were right.
This is the Federal Communications Commission. We've been listening to the nonsense you've been doing on the air. We know who you are. We're going to get you. I advise you to get off the air.
Now, I tell you this, Jim. You could see Judah watching this and saying, yes, I'm going to get Hank. I'm going to get him. Get everybody. I know where they are. They stopped at Figueroa, whatever the hell they stopped. Now, let's watch Judah Mansbach's wet dream come true when the FCC converges. And by the way, when the truck pulls in, it pulls into a dead end, just like when the FCC showed up at Jim Nazium's house in the dead end on West 12th and Avenue V. So let's see. Judah Mansbach is going to go.
You and your men might as well give up. You haven't got a chance. Come out with your hands up.
Come on. And there's Jim Nazium. There he is, Jim Nazium. He's got his Tommy gun. The FCC, Judah just got on the horn in the dead end, and he says to you, you haven't got a chance. You and your men, come out with your hands up. And there he is. There's Jim Nazium with the machine gun, with the window.
Was Agent Rolf.
You're going to see Agent Rolf. So how does Jim Nazium respond when Judah Mansbach tells him, I advise you get off the air?
Highway 60 near Colton.
Hank is a rat. Hank just ratted out Jim. I just ratted out Jim. I didn't know I was a rat. I ratted out Jim, and now Agent Rolf is going to go and try to get Jim. Jim's got his shotgun. This is fantastic.
That area surrounded. Get some searchlights.
Searchlights. Judah wants searchlights.
All of a sudden, it's nighttime.
It's nighttime. Where's Jim?
Nighttime. 5 minutes. Not even 2 minutes.
Jim's got a hostage. That's it. See, it says gas. Judah Mansbach. Oh my God, that would be his fantasy come true. Oh, there, Judah. Where is it?
This is the Federal Communications Commission. We've been listening to the nonsense you've been doing on the air. We know who you are. We're going to get you. I advise you get off the air.
So that is Hollywood's version in the 40s. That is the Hollywood 1940s version of Judah Mansbach, Jack Shadetsky, Agent Rolf, coming after Hank and Jim for broadcasting WFAT. Jim didn't know that Hank is going to escape and was really an undercover agent. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Jim, listen, we grew up together. I'm going to be the one, just like in the mafia, just like in the mob. You usually, when you get rubbed out, you get rubbed out by your best friend. Right?
That's usually what happens, right?
You get rubbed out by your best friend. So Hank picks up the rifle with the scope, takes a couple of shots at you, says, what's holding Jim up? But in the end, you blew that thing up. You blew that thing up, Jim Nazium.
Oh, yeah, I tried to take everyone with me.
Unbelievable. Well, guess what? Remember how we've been talking about the fact that we have Judah Mansbach when he was actually in the process of staking out Jim Nazium, right? Mm-hmm. Right there, just like we saw in that movie. It's like real life. It's real life. Real life. Real life. What do they say? Art imitates life. I can't. Why doesn't this close? I'm having a trouble, Jim. Art imitates life. Okay? Do you notice what's happening? I'm not kidding. Art imitates life. Real life, Judah Mansbach comes and stakes you out. Stakes out the radio station. In the Hollywood movie, the FCC, they come down with guns blaring. Talk about that. Why do people have this unbelievable impression of the FCC, thinking that they're agents and that they're so powerful? Because of that movie. Mm-hmm. What did that movie teach people about the FCC?
Teaches them to fear them, like the FBI or
and if you go on
agency,
if you go and you broadcast illegally, look what happens.
Yeah, you'll end up like James Cagney.
Because you see what happened there. It's the FCC with the cars and right.
Yeah.
And then there's no transition that the FCC, in real life, what would happen is when he says, send out a call, send everybody to 30 WV, Gymnasium, the FCC would stop. But in this movie, the next thing you see is 50,000 guys with rifles and suits, and you automatically think it's still the FCC.
Yeah, you think they're still there, part of the, part of the takedown.
They're coming in guns blazing.
Yeah.
And that's what Judah Mansbach, FCC agent, that's the mentality he had. That is the mentality he had. You know what? Thank God FCC agents like Judah Mansbach are unarmed. Mm-hmm. They cannot carry a weapon. Can you imagine if they could? What would have happened if Judah Mansbach could carry a weapon when he came in to bust us 1 of 5 times? He would have done that. You would have seen the scope, and he would have shot. As soon as I stood up and said, we have the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, pow!
Yeah.
And then he'd look at you and say, you got something to say, Jim Nazium, you got something. Then he'd throw the cuffs on you.
Your freedom of speech. Yeah.
He would throw the cuffs on you.
Yeah. But by the way, just a side note, when the FCC did bust WHOT, after I had the gun pointed at me by Agent Ralph. If you remember, Judah said, "Let's go on the roof. Can we go up on the roof?"
Oh.
Me and him went to the roof, just me and him.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Jim, I never heard this before. Tell me, start that again.
He wanted the antenna as evidence.
The wire.
No,
he wanted the
FM antenna.
The FM. Oh, okay.
The whole thing, the mast and everything.
Oh my God.
So I walked up to the roof with him. I opened the roof. I let him on the roof. It was just me and Judah Mansbach on the roof.
Oh my God.
And I'm saying that it came to my mind. It popped in my mind. If he fell off the roof by accident. Whoopsie. There's no cameras. No,
You know what you should have done? You said, Judah, right over here is where I really have the an extra. You could have told him you had a hidden amp on the edge of the roof. You could have said, Judah, listen, Judah, you got me. It's a fair cop. And since I'm going to give you everything, including the extra 50-watt transmit, the 50-watt amp that's right over here. What? 50-watt amp? Where is it? Right over here. It's right over here by the edge. It's by the ledge, right here.
The ledge was so low.
I don't see it. No, you got to lean over a little bit, Judah. You got to lean over a little more, Judah. Just a little more, Judah. Lean over a little more, Judah. Hey, Judah.
Tonight, the part of Hank Hayes is being played by Gail Gordon.
And you give him a little push. And that's it. Goodbye, Judah.
I was actually scared.
You took Judah up to the roof.
Yeah.
Of 2085 West 6th Street, where the tower was.
He went up with some kind of bolt cutters.
Did he start cutting things?
Yes, he cut all the bolts, and the antenna came crashing down.
Are you kidding me?
And then I don't know who came up to grab it. I don't know. I don't think he did. He probably had the other guys come up.
They took the antenna?
Yes, and the rotor. And the mast. It was still attached. Everything was still attached. He just wanted the whole thing down. And they pulled up the wire. So they had the entire cable that we used. Plus the mast. The antenna still attached to it. Damaged because it hit the roof. Yes, I forgot all about that. And I was up there alone with him. And I'm surprised, why would he even take the chance of just me and him up on the roof alone?
Because he was so crazed.
He was that guy.
He wanted to get you.
From that movie.
He was Hank. He became Hank from that movie. That's what it was.
One of the things both the guys said over the years that he's using a 100-watt transmitter.
Jim, wait a minute.
100-watt transmitter, if you do a fast calculation of this
wait a minute.
Give you a ground wave
I think Judah is surveilling us again.
If I'm 6 miles from him, I'm
take a look out the window. I think Judah's parked outside.
But even if I'm slightly outside that ground wave, I should...
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the voice of Judah Mansbach.
But I came down the bad way.
On a stakeout. Let's listen for a little bit.
But I'm up in our building. We have a high antenna. We're pretty well up to 12 stories, whatever. That's a pretty... I should have picked up something. I picked up nothing. I'd guess Coney Island Hospital is probably about 2 miles from here. Okay, 2 miles. I'm not picking this guy up at all. Nothing. Assuming it's about 6 miles. Nevertheless, somebody's hearing him. He's got an audience. People are calling up. What these people are calling up? What somebody reported? But they heard him. I haven't got 1,000 reports. Reliable. The guy tells me I heard him last night. Hear who it is. I'd like to find out.
I had to do a little noise reduction.
Can't be heard. I'd like to hear the damn thing.
I made an edit of this.
By the way,
you did? The whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, well, good thing I don't have it. Where is it?
I forgot about it. I have it.
All right, so is your sound better?
This guy with 100 watts. He's up in about 100 watts. Being picked up in New Jersey.
There is Judah Mansbach. I will wait to see when Gymnasium gives me a better copy.
I can do it right now.
But no, well,
take a couple of minutes.
Hold on, don't rush. First, we want to thank Pete's sake for transcribing that. We have the entire transcription of Judah Mansbach, literally on patrol. We don't have to play that this time because I have other things to play. But good, I'm glad you did that. I just, I'm not. I just tried to get rid of some of the noise.
Yeah.
But there he was. Now, so that was amazing. Watching White Heat. Thank you, Warner Brothers, for depicting the FCC coming in with shotguns, tear gas, searchlights, Tommy guns, you name it.
And then you pump up the volume where the FCC they're wearing sunglasses, suits, and they're driven around in a limousine. That's their,
Yes, in the days to come, ladies and gentlemen, and then in the days to come, we are going to have a watch party of the Hollywood movie that was inspired by Jim Nazium and Hank Hayes and our operations and Judah Mansbach. There's 3 people inspired that movie, Pump Up the Volume, starring Christian Slater. And it is Jim Nazium and I and Judah Mansbach, FCC agent, and that's in the days to come. But we're going to have plenty of advance warning on that because we all want everybody to come and join us when we watch that. But I have something else from CBS. 1984, the CBS Evening News did a segment about British pirates at that time in 1984, and how the British version of the FCC was coming after them. So let's all enjoy this now. Let's all enjoy this together. All right, go back to 1984, CBS Evening News segment on British pirates being chased by the authorities.
5-8, where we do one thing and we do it so well. We bring you the hits just that you want to hear.
Laser is a pirate radio station floating just outside British waters and just outside the law. It is a small part of a booming, blatantly illegal industry that's plundering Britain's radio establishment.
What radio station do you listen to?
You're listening to Skyline Radio, community radio.
On and offshore, there are now nearly twice as many illegal stations broadcasting in England as there are licensed ones.
Oh, we're very close to it, Can we go up here?
And the chase is on. British authorities trying to catch the pirates with electronic tracking devices say they're hijacking frequencies, stealing music and news, and capturing millions of listeners.
If you're listening to one radio station, then you're not listening to another.
England's licensed broadcasters say the pirates are creating chaos and threatening them with the loss of advertising revenue.
And the only way that civilization can survive is if people play the game by the rules.
Problem is, hardly anyone likes the rules.
Hello.
There are only 3 licensed local radio stations in London, and unlike the pirates, the amount and type of music they can play is sharply restricted. The result is a product capable of curing all but the worst cases of insomnia.
How was your first day of the week at school?
No, boring as usual.
Oh, was it really? I know the feeling.
Give people what they don't want, and entrepreneurs willing to take a risk will invariably come along to provide them with what they do want.
Sunshine Radio, Radio Jackie.
Yeah, you're tuned to the sounds of Dread Broadcasting Corporation.
Last year, there were 30 pirates operating in Britain. Today, the figure is 130. They broadcast everything from wall-to-wall reggae for London's West Indian population to church services for the Greek Orthodox community.
We went out on the air to prove that there was a great demand for such thing. The authorities have decided to knock us off the air. We have no intentions of going off the air.
The British government has enough trouble finding the pirates, let alone shutting them down.
We can't be far away, actually.
Of the 40 stations successfully prosecuted last year, 38 went right back on the air. The pirates say the only way to change the rules is to keep on breaking them.
And it's a hefty old signal.
And their message is coming through loud and clear. Steve Croft, CBS News, London.
And that's the CBS Evening News.
Reliving Brooklyn's pirate radio glory. WFAT, WCPR, WHOT. With Hank Hayes spinning chaos and Jim Nazium dodging the FCC like a pro. Tune into the Pirate Radio Guy podcast for tales of rebel waves and underground beats. Arr, mateys, is Radio Rebellion at its finest.
You're listening to Free Speech Radio with Hal Hall, right here on WFAT.
How about that? A lot of pirate activity in London, 1984.
London town, yeah. I didn't know that.
I didn't realize that either.
Pirates, right?
What's that?
They were on land, a lot of them, right?
A lot of them, yeah. Only a few. A laser was maybe 1 or 2 on the ships.
But you see what I guess, was he in charge of the FCC or whatever the version is? See what he said? I mean, it right there. It says if one person's listening to one radio station, then one person isn't listening to another.
That's right.
And why would anyone want to listen to a pirate station? All right? That must mean something. If you have a supermarket and you're losing business because you're selling rotten food. Well, look, there's a store across the street. They're doing great business because they're selling food that tastes good. There's a reason why they're listening to a pirate station, because what is being offered to them isn't good.
Well, Jim, when
boring.
When one person buys a kumquat from this store around the corner, then that same person is not buying a kumquat from Meat Supreme's vegetable section. See, we can't have that.
Well, this just goes to show you that when government running, the airwaves, and
we thought we had it bad.
Yeah.
We thought we had it bad. Over there, the government is the only people that could broadcast was the government.
Yeah, and they wonder why they had so many pirates? Come on. It's so stupid. How stupid, this guy.
Well, that you saw Laser there was 1984, was broadcasting off a ship like they had done Radio Caroline and everything in the 60s and 70s.
Yes.
Well, there was a ship in America. There was a broadcast ship here in the United States at one time. Do you remember this at all?
I do remember it. I have a vague recollection.
I wonder if Pete Sayick has any recollection of the American pirate radio ship that was located, anchored 4.5 miles off the coast of Long Island, and started to broadcast to, as Ivan Jeffrey said, to the world, to the country, the world, and even the nation, the world, and maybe even the nation. Remember Ivan said this?
Yes, he did say that.
Well, let's see that. We have a little bit of 1987, a little bit of coverage of a radio station that Jim Nazium, Hank Hayes, Pete Sayick, Ivan Jeffries, Alan Weiner, Randy Steele all got together and set up off the coast legally, by the way. Legally, it was outside of the jurisdiction. Judah had no jurisdiction in international waters. Judah had the same amount of jurisdiction. He had the same amount of authority to tell us to go off the air as a squid that might have swum up to the ship. If the squid could, what was that movie where Don Knotts turned into a fish? All right, remember that movie?
No.
It was a Disney movie. The Incredible Mr. Limpet, I think it was called. The Incredible Mr. Limpet, where Don Knotts turns into a fish. And he keeps swimming up and talking to people. So if Judah Mansbach could have turned into a fish and come up next to the ship and said, "I advise you to go off the air," and we could have thrown a rock at his head because he had no authority. But that didn't stop him from shutting us down.
No.
But before we got shut down, a little TV show called A Current Affair came out to visit us, Jim, and let's all enjoy this.
Pirates, not Errol Flynn or Douglas Fairbanks Jr., but that's what they're called, and it's not a gleaming clipper ship, but a broken-down bucket which has drawn the attention of the federal government. Inside this hulk, pirates are beaming the best of rock and roll and other music to the East Coast without a license. Oh, that was enough for our Steve McPartland to take a couple of Dramamine and find out all about it. Steve?
Not bad rock and roll, Maury. It is being played by this nation's newest radio station, WRNI. I'm sorry, RNI, no W in front of it. And that stands for Radio New York International. I'm about 4 miles off the coast of the United States, off the east coast of the United States. And these fellows are broadcasting music throughout the entire East Coast. Now, they say this is not a pirate radio station. They call it an offshore radio station. With me is the chief engineer, Al Weiner. Al, why don't you explain the difference between a pirate radio station and an offshore radio station?
Okay, well, pirate denotes illegality. There is nothing illegal about this station. We're in international territory. We're operating beyond the jurisdiction of the Federal Communications Commission. We are on a properly registered Honduran vessel, again, in international waters. This is a completely legal offshore radio station.
I understand the Coast Guard paid you a visit the other day.
Yeah, the Coast Guard came by to do a routine
Get ready for Ivan.
Of, papers and registration. They were very polite, very nice. The FCC came on board and bullied us around and got a little belligerent and illegally tried to serve us with warnings which have no jurisdiction out here.
Okay, let's ask Ivan about how are you guys going to pay for this? How are you going to get revenue to pay for this whole deal?
Hopefully we should get advertisers to support us for the radio station to let the world hear. And that's why, on purpose, we're here, to supply the listeners with the music, rock and roll music, old and new, to everybody out in New York, the world, even the nation. Who knows?
Now, once you begin getting advertisers and begin paying for this, is the FCC going to step back in?
Well, again, it's out of their jurisdiction. The FCC really has no authority or control. I mean, we're just a group of people that set up a radio station. We want a chance to offer an alternative and freeform rock and roll to the New York area, and I think they should leave us alone.
Well, that sounds pretty good to us. I guess they're just some young men committed to bringing them rock and roll to the East Coast. From the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, Maury. Back to you.
All right, we'll leave you all alone.
Thank you.
Go back. Play a little Chuck Berry. We'll be back in a moment after this.
And we stopped rolling the tape when Maury said, Jim Nazium, you are not the father. You are not the father, Jim Nazium. You are not the father. And at that point, Jim breathed a sigh of relief.
Wouldn't you?
I certainly would. And I certainly did. So, Jim, how about that? Huh? Maury Povich and Ivan Jeffries were going to broadcast to New York, the world, and maybe even the nation. I love that. You got to love that. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what the Pirate Radio Guy podcast is all about. This is what it's all about. And there's going to be more to come in the future. We're going to have live hookups again with Pete Sayek, our other Pirate Radio Guy partner. And I've already been talking to the great pirate broadcaster, John Lightning. John Lightning will be a guest. And I'm talking to Al Weiner. We're going to get Al Weiner on here because we like to talk about the fun side of our pirate radio adventures and being on that ship and putting that ship out, anchoring that ship in international waters outside of the jurisdiction of the entire United States FCC. That certainly was an adventure, Jim.
And Hank Hayes had a boat. What kind of boat would you call that?
It was a 30-footer. Okay.
I remember it was parked at a dock. It was near Nellie Bly. What would you call it? What area is that?
Yeah, Coney Island.
It's Coney Island. All right. I remember going to it. I never got a chance.
It was a Liberty. I had a 30-foot Liberty ship.
Okay.
That's what it was. It was a Liberty ship.
You had to get it registered, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
It was crazy. And Hank would go there to deliver supplies to the people that were on the ship, because the idea was, and just to backtrack slightly, we had signed off our pirate station at the time, WHOT, to do this, to be involved. We were asked, and we were part of it. The idea was to do live shows from the ship, because the idea is that it's legal. It's going to be there. It's going to stay there and become just another entity, another station on the dial. And it was AM, FM, shortwave, and longwave. It had 4 transmitters. And we did one show on there, but it was pre-recorded because it was still in the getting ready stage. And I just want to put that out. And Pete Sayek has a big role in this. I don't know if I want to go into right now. Pete was actually on the ship for a while. He had, after they busted the ship and tore it apart, the FCC. Pete actually lived on there for a while. He's got stories. But the whole thing was that we were going to be on the ship doing live shows. That was the idea. And we had that little boat, the Liberty boat there, to go back and forth as needed, delivering supplies and going back to the homeland.
That was the idea. That was the general idea. I agreed to do that.
Exciting time.
Well, Al Weiner asked me, he said, I need someone to tender, equipment and supplies and food, and I'll give you a boat. The boat will be yours. And would you shuttle back and forth? I said, of course, no problem. And that's the only reason that Pete Sayek and I were not on the ship when Judah finally came back and arrested everybody with the Coast Guard.
Illegally.
Yes, it was illegal. It was an illegal raid. And just like you said, at HOT, he went up there with the wire cutters, with the cable cutters, and he cut down the antenna and the tower.
That was illegal.
He did the same thing on the ship. He went down into the hold where we had 5 transmitters, AM, FM, long wave, short wave. What's the other one? AM, FM, short wave, long wave, and medium wave. Well, that's AM. But I know we had 5 transmitters.
Oh, it was 5. I thought it was 4.
I think. No matter what, he went down there and they bashed. He used an axe on the Heliax, very thick professional cable. And that was Judah Mansbach, the destroyer, because he thought he was going after James Cagney.
This is the Federal.
He thought he was in a Warner Brothers movie with the shotgun.
The nonsense you've been doing on the air.
And the axe.
We
But
know
he got
who
away
you are.
with it.
We're going to get you. I advise you to get off the air.
Of course he got
entire
away
thing
with
was
it.
Illegal. And by the way, when he went up to the roof and cut down the antenna, that was actually illegal. It violated the warrant. The warrant
didn't say roof.
No, it said second floor.
All right.
It said second floor.
That's up to you to say, nope, you don't have, nowhere does it say roof. Sorry.
Didn't get a chance to read the whole thing because everything was happening so fast.
I know, of course.
But,
Well, he took advantage, of course. That's Judah. That's our Judah. That's our little Judd.
So the idea is that it's like shoot first, ask questions later. So that's basically what the FCC did. And Judah was head of that. He says, yes, let's take them off the air first. We'll worry about the consequences later. As the federal government, they got away with it. And they did.
Jim, right now in the YouTube chat room,
yes,
we have a former member, or maybe he's currently a member of the Coast Guard. His name is at NY Half-Ass Prepper, okay?
Okay.
At New York Half-Ass Prepper. His boss, right now, all right, wherever he is employed, right now, his current boss was the captain of the Coast Guard cutter that came and busted the Sarah. I would like to talk to him.
Oh, yeah.
New York Half-Ass Prepper. I'd like to talk to you, and we'd love to talk to your boss about the days, the things that went on, because when they came out on that Coast Guard cutter, they came out with the main gun, right? There's a gun on the bow. There's a gun on the bow, and that gun was pointed at the Sarah, and probably at the direction of Judah. And by the way, New York Half-Ass Prepper, Judah Mansbach, and I know this because when I went to retrieve, I was on the ship. I brought everybody, I shuttled everybody out from Brooklyn back to the Sarah when the Coast Guard officially gave the Sarah back to Al Weiner and us. So I was there, and the Coast Guard crew members, the members of that ship, your boss's ship, talked to us. They wanted to talk to the pirates. And every single one of them, and Pete Sake was there with me. Pete will attest to this. Every single sailor on that Coast Guard ship had nothing but bad things to say about Judah. He was barking orders. He was running around. He was ordering people to put this guy in handcuff. I want that guy in handcuff. That guy's from the press. They said, this guy's a Village Voice reporter. I want him in handcuffs. I want him handcuffed right now. Put him in handcuffs and leave him on the deck in the sun. So this is what New York Half-Ass Prepper is telling me right now. He was in Pete. You can see him in the video that we shot. You see his boss.
Oh, wow.
At the time. He was captain of the pirate radio ship. When the Coast Guard takes over the ship, that's their ship.
Oh.
So when they boarded the ship and they seized control, the Coast Guard captain, his boss, became the captain of the Sarah. He was the captain of the Sarah. I would love to talk to these people because there are stories to tell, especially if he remembers. If he would have mentioned, you know what you need to do? Mention to him, ask him about the FCC agent, the guy, Judah Mansbach. He was in charge. He had all the papers, and he was Mr. Gung-Ho. Let's get that ship. And see if he remembers. He's got to remember because Judah was, I guarantee you, Judah was ordering around the captain of the Coast Guard ship. So you have our email address. Send me a message, right? Send me a message because we need to chat. I would love to chat more with you. This is the great thing about the internet. Jim, I got to tell you something. Al Gore deserves a posthumous medal. He deserves a posthumous medal. No, Al Gore. No, let's give him a posthumous medal, Gymnasium, for first conceiving of. Remember, first he conceived of, and then he helped to create the internet. I think that we should propose, seriously, that Al Gore get a posthumous Medal of Honor for bringing us the conception of the internet. Because without the internet, there would be no pirate radio podcast. There wouldn't be a podcast at all. And there would be, the only way Gymnasium and I could go on the air is if we found a transmitter and turned it on and we'd broadcast. I'd broadcast across to the people that run the farm, across the field there. But now we are actually, like Ivan said, Ivan's dreams have come true. Ivan's dreams have come true. We, Gymnasium, using Al Gore's internet, we are able to broadcast to New York, the world, and maybe, even the nation, Gymnasium. We're doing it. We got to get a hold of Al. We got to get a hold of Al Gore. We got to get a hold of Ivan as well. We got to talk to Ivan about things. All right. I don't know what he's up to now, but we're going to get Ivan. We got to hear from Ivan. Yeah. Now, speaking of the ship and New York half-ass prepper, I want you to watch this. I want you to watch this. Oh, even better. We're getting stories. I want you to watch this because we have another video to show you. This is our late, great chief engineer, Chris Tobin. Mm-hmm. When I called Chris Tobin, I remember the phone call. I called Chris Tobin one day when we were setting up, we were setting the Sarah up. We were like 7 days away from sailing from Boston Harbor and anchoring in international waters off of Long Beach, Long Island. I called Chris Tobin up. He was the chief engineer of WSTC at the time, 1400 WSTC, your weather station. I'm sorry, I didn't say your weather station.
Always end with that.
And I said, hello, Chris. He said, hello, Hank. I said, I have to tell you something. I said, I want to give you a little heads up. I'm not supposed to tell anybody, but I'm telling you. Right now, there is a ship in Boston Harbor. It has, how high was that tower? Was it 150 foot on the Sarah? I think it was a 150-foot tower.
Yeah, it's very high.
There is a ship in Boston Harbor, harbored right now, in dock. It has 5 transmitters on it. It has a 150-foot radio tower. It has Heliax cable. It also has Hank Hayes. It has Pete Saig. It has Randall Ripley. It has Al Weiner and maybe even the world, Ivan Jeffries. Maybe in the nation. And we are going to set sail, and we are going to be broadcasting in about 5 days. I wanted to tell you this, Chris. I gave him the address, and I think it was the next day. Chris Tobin grabbed he had a camcorder.
Yeah.
He grabbed his camcorder, he got into his car, and he drove to the ship, and Pete Saig and I met him at the dock, and we are going to watch that now. This is Chris Tobin's own tape of coming up.
Was that the day I came?
I think he showed up later in the evening. This is Chris got there first. So here it is. We're about to see the Sarah in the dock. This is pirate radio history. Jim, do you realize the significance of it? If Judah was still alive right now, Judah would be coming down. They'd be pulling into my driveway right now with the cars, with the little ring antennas on top, 50,000 guys with shotguns and rifles, just because he doesn't want us to show this tape of the ship and all the illegal things that we were doing with. It wasn't illegal. What we did on land was legal. We never turned the transmitter on. We didn't turn any transmitter on until we got into international waters. But here it is. Thank you. Up in heaven. Chris Tobin. I'm just trying to figure out how I have to go to it. Chris Tobin, thank you so much for recording this, and let's all enjoy it together. Shall we? Chris Tobin on what is probably I-95 in Connecticut, on his way up to Boston, Massachusetts, to meet Hank Hayes, Pete Saig, later on Gymnasium, Ivan Jeffries, and
even the whole country.
Maybe the nation. Maybe.
I keep saying it wrong.
Here we go. There is Hank Hayes. That's the entrance to the shipyard. There's Pete Saig and Hank Hayes. There they are. There's Hank Hayes. I'm fully decked out in my my regulation pirate radio ship uniform. And there's Pete Saig. And Pete Saig has Gymnasium's medical bag.
Okay, here we are. We are here. You ready? Yep. You're lucky. It's high tide. You're a lucky man.
That's the entrance to the shipyard.
Maybe you should give a little history of what's going on here.
Well, this car, you see this car? This is going to be the radio car.
The contests?
And we're going to make it into an amphibious vehicle. It's going to go out in the water and it's going to sink. Then we're going to get a boat. Yeah. So let me show you the boat we're thinking of buying.
By the way, you see that bridge in the background?
Yeah.
That is the Tobin Bridge. And Chris Tobin, no relation, is videotaping.
Oh, we should say where we are, shouldn't we? Or maybe we shouldn't. We shouldn't say where we are.
That's right. It's another good idea.
Hi, my name is Mehmed. This is my friend Ahmed.
Hello, how are you? This is boatyard. We make boats here and fix them and everything.
Yes.
All right. It's very important. Very,
Now, Jim, I don't know if you did this. Did you come on the ship?
Yes, I did what you're doing right now there.
Lots of movement.
A and B is
Lots of
All right, what we're doing, where it says keep out, but we're authorized. We have to walk out to the ship. Okay, now when you're in a boatyard like this, a rather large boatyard, and a 150-foot ship, those are camels. Those are called camels, Jim. Mm-hmm. They float up and down with the tide.
Yep.
And you're walking on these big floating camels.
Very dangerous. Very dangerous.
I did it.
The water will continue to rock for many hours. Man with camera.
Yeah.
Careful over here, it's roping.
So now that ship, what does it say? The Maine, I think it says. Let's see if we get a shot of that. We're walking along the camels, trying not to fall in. And what happens is our ship, the Sarah, is 2 ships in. All right? It's tied up to a ship that's tied up to the dock. So you have to walk along these camels, avoid at all costs falling in, and we would have to climb on the Maine, and then climb off the Maine and onto our ship. Let's see if anybody falls in this time.
Watch out.
Oh, the Wave. I'm sorry, the Wave. That's pretty cool, though, that the ship we were next to is called the Wave.
Very low.
Hey, listen up, because I'm only going to do this once. Here's how you get on
Listen
this
up good.
Listen up damn good. Here's how you get on this thing. You grab this here rope. You try not to fall on your ass. Put one foot on the tower. Put the next foot on the tower. Grab this here deal. Do this.
I just want to point out that Jim Nazium did this.
Yeah, I did it. Everything you guys are doing, I did it. Going and coming.
Yeah, when you get off the ship, you got to go in reverse.
And it was nighttime.
At night. And look at the space between the camels and and where you're stepping. I only wish we could have videotape of Jim Nazium performing this exact action. But keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, Jim did this.
Do this. Lift your ass up and you're on board. How you like that, boy? Huh? You do it now. You do it good. Do it with the camera in your hand.
Squeal like a pig.
Wait.
Here,
Fearless Chris Tobin.
Carefully. It's on.
Oh, and Jim, I think Chris Tobin's camera was not, I said camcorder. No, there were no camcorders yet. He had the camera and he had, like we had, the remote record unit.
I took a picture and there he is holding the camera with the machine, tied to his side,
Chris just climbed onto the Wave, not only holding a camera, but with a heavy videotape machine strapped over his shoulder. Fearless Chris Tobin. We should give him a posthumous medal award as well.
Left it on. It's been on all this time? Yeah.
This one's not here. It's big, it's ominous, it's scary.
He's towing.
Oh.
All right, now we're still on the Wave. And you see the R.J. Munzer, all right? That's the R.J. Munzer, which is tied up to the Sarah. The Sarah's in between. We see that metal pipe in the middle there, that black pipe. And on that pipe is the heliax cable that you could see coming up from the hatch. The hatch goes down below decks. That's the actual transmission line going from the FM transmitter up to the top of the tower. But we're still not on the Sarah yet. We have to climb off of the Wave and onto the Sarah.
Pulling out, taking 360 to this, coming this all the way around. This one.
That's an insulator.
Lay up him.
All right. Tell me where the food is.
All right.
And now a shot of the tower, perhaps. Yes, look at that tower go. Jim, look at that tower. That's a tower on a ship.
That's a tall tower.
That is a tower on a ship.
That's the tall tower swinging it was going to, well, think about it. All the signals that were coming off that in the Atlantic Ocean.
Look, two ring antennas.
Yeah, that was for the FM.
Those two rings on top, that's the FM antennas.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This is on a ship. That's the thing that amazed me.
Yeah.
With guy wires. Wow. There's the two FM antennas. What was the frequency on FM? FM 108?
No, 103.1.
FM 103.1. There's the base of the tower. Now we've gone below decks. All right, it's kind of dark below decks. We don't have a lot of light. Chris Tobin had a flashlight, so that's the only light he was able to use to get some of the shots. But we're in the actual hold of the ship. In the hold of the ship, that's where Al Weiner built the and now we're looking in this gymnasium. You must have been there already. Wow. Gymnasium, Randy Steele, Pete Sake.
Yeah, I think this might work really great.
Mitch Unger. I did not remember that Mitch Unger was there.
Yeah, he drove us.
Oh, Mitch drove you.
No, I drove with you and Burke. I drove back with Mitch.
Oh, good. Wow, Mitch Unger.
Well,
You know what I say to that? Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
What the heck? Well, you missed all the fun and excitement of carrying 800 tires onto the ship. Yeah. Truck tires and all that.
I just took the picture of Chris. Did you see
Yes, we have that picture.
Yeah.
We are below decks in the Sarah.
You don't even remember you're on a ship right now. You're right.
And Chris is going to hopefully go into the...
living quarters. This is where it's going to
There's the studio. There it is. There's the radio studio.
Station. And studio. Here it is. Look at this. Look at this.
Now there's the mixing board that came from WPIX FM 102, not stop 102.
The Simone phone board.
When I was listening to Jim Quinn, that's the board he ran.
Yeah. I didn't bring any of the cards back.
There's a row of transmitters. That's Burke. And behind Burke is a row of transmitters. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see at least 4, maybe 5. Mm-hmm. Maybe even the nation, Jim. Maybe even the nation. We're going to get out to the country. We're going to get out to the world. And maybe, perhaps, even the nation. Perhaps.
Anything he painted.
Transmitters. Chris is zeroing in on the transmitters.
Well, no, it's set up. It's just there. This is the one that wants you to be in the living room.
Transmitter. Now that's a little different than the transmitter that was hidden on the. There's an FM. Look at that transmitter. A little different than the transmitter they had hidden in the bottom of the oil tanker. Look at those meters, Jim. Look at those meters. Look at that transmitter.
Jeez.
Another transmitter. 2 tubes. Look at that thing. That thing is solid. That's solid state, baby. State of the art, right? State of the art, gymnasium.
Long way.
From the radio ship Sarah, RNI is Radio News International.
Here, let me pull this out so I can sit down. See what the hell is doing?
When I was born, lived the man who sailed to sea.
I don't know. It'll be nice when we're on our own power. Enough power to run this sucker. Don't have enough shore power to run this. Well, let it run for about like 1 minute. So you don't hear it now. It's the same effect. The same effect you get on the videotape.
This must be the next day. We all woke up. There's a shot of Boston Harbor. There's the Munzer. That's the ship that towed us out. That was like a gigantic ship that could tow other ships, Gymnasium.
Jeez.
And that's the anchor. The anchor right now is sitting on top of the deck of the Munzer.
How much does that cost to tow? Like a couple $100?
We'll have to ask Alan when we have him on the show. We're going to have Al Weiner on this show.
$150, right?
At least $150.
Oh, okay. Not bad.
And now we're going to get a daytime view of the Tobin Bridge, taken by Chris Tobin.
No relation.
No relation. And now, Chris is up on top of the roof of the bridge.
Who installed all these antennas?
Al Weiner.
Wow. Impressive. Extraordinary.
Now we might see a shot of the drawbridge that used to wake me up in the middle of the night when I was trying to sleep in my cabin. There's the drawbridge right in the back there. I think we're going to see the. Oh, come on, Chris, get a shot of there. But there it is. There's the Munzer. That's the tow area. Mm-hmm. And I'll show you right now, Jim. You see my mouse on the screen here? Yeah. That isn't. I'm running the mouse over the anchor.
Oh, okay.
All right, and I think Chris is going to zoom in on the anchor. The anchor is lying flat. There's the anchor. You see that anchor? Geez. That is the anchor. I think it was 10,000 pounds. I think it was 5 tons.
Oh, wow. That'll be a backbreaker trying to lift that thing up, right?
We'll have to verify. Pete's sake, do you remember the weight of the anchor? We used to know these things by heart. I want to say 5 tons. Maybe it's 2 tons. But look at that gosh darn anchor. And there's the anchor chain. You see how it's all ready to go? After this ship, the Sarah, was towed out to the international waters, then we dropped that anchor. I have the audio and I have pictures of that. First the anchor gets in, and then the chain, Gymnasium, the chain took like 10 minutes to go in. The chain just kept going. The sparks are flying, Gymnasium. Sparks are flying.
Now when the ship is finally anchored, doesn't it like do a twist that goes
always
around?
It goes with the circle, with the the rotation of the earth. So the anchor's here and the line is here, and it just does this 24 hours a day, 24/7, Gymnasium, 24/7, round and round and round and round. Makes me think of this.
It's our ship that makes the difference. Radio New York International.
Yeah. And let's see one more. I think this might be an ID.
Stronger than ever before. Radio New York International.
RNI.
Gymnasium, huh? Well, this has been quite a Pirate Radio Guy podcast, Gymnasium. Quite a Pirate Radio Guy podcast. If Judah was alive, I think he would say this.
This is the Federal Communications Commission. We've been listening to the nonsense you've been doing on the air. We know who you are. We're going to get you. I advise you to get off the air.
Now he would say this is the Federal Communications Commission. We've been listening to the nonsense you've been doing on the internet.
Yeah, Judah would come in. Get off the internet. Listen, fellas, get off the internet.
I advise you to get off the internet.
Well, before we sign off, we're going to sign off. And before we do, I want to tell you that when it comes to the internet, I did hear from Judah Mansbach on the internet.
Yes, I remember that.
One of my first websites, way back in the early days of the World Wide Web, WWW3, right? There was a website. I'm racing through my memory to remember what it was called. It was eventually bought by Yahoo. But
Netscape?
before, huh?
Netscape?
No, that's a browser. This was Oh, well, anyway, there was a website where you could sign up for free, and you would get a web page, and you could load pictures up and everything. And it was kind of funny because they had they divided everything by streets. So like you would have Hollywood Street and this and that. Anyway, it's not going to come to me until after we sign off.
Right.
But I signed up for this because it was a free, get a free website. But it had a long URL. You know, there was no such thing as hankhayes.com or anything like that. Those days weren't there yet.
Pete said he wants to call in for a second.
Oh, all right. Let's do that. I go over here. I wish I could remember the name of that the early days. Okay, hold on. So how are you, Jim? How are you?
I'm all right. I had my nose was stuffed. I don't know if you heard me squirting stuff up my nose all morning. I didn't sleep much. And
Pete, there the number is 816 Pete 816-9-PIRATE 816-9-PIRATE.
All right, the level is going to drop on the call.
Oh God,
you know that.
So let me get ready for that. Right? What do? I go here. You got
to fight with the computer.
I have to fight with my computer. When you use these things, it takes over, and there's the level right there. So we want to keep it at 45. That's it. Likes 45.
45 is good. It's good.
It seems to be working.
Midway.
Pete is frantically. You know what Pete's doing? He's trying to figure out. Let's see. P. What number is P? I. What is I? What is R? How do I spell pirate? P-I-R. There we go. There's Pete's sake right there. Hello, Pete's sake. Look, it went right down to 35, Jim. And it's moving. Hello, Pete's sake. How are you?
I am good.
Pete, before you say what you want to say, do you remember the name of that crazy website where we had early what do you call it, web pages?
Wasn't it something like, oh, God, let me think for a minute. It was like RFNY dot. Was it GeoCities? No.
GeoCities, yes. You got the answer correctly. Okay. It was GeoCities. So you would go to GeoCities.
You win a brand new 50,000-pound anchor.
Pete's sake is correct. That anchor is yours.
5-ton pound, whatever it is.
Oh. And Bob, we're throwing in the chain for free.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pete's sake wins the anchor. All he's got to do is pull it up from the bottom of the ocean. So, yeah, it was GeoCities. So go ahead, Pete. I was just pointing out that on GeoCities, I made a website, and I called it Hello John. And what did I do on there? I put prank phone calls to Long John.
Oh, yes.
You know? And all of a sudden, there he was, Long John taking calls with all the pranks.
Sure. Don't you worry about that.
Not worried, John. And then what had happened? I had an email address on there. Pete, you know this, right? I get an email from FCC agent Judah Mansbach. He found the website. And you know what he says to me? I could pull it up, but I know what it says by heart. He says to me, "Are you still around?" He's like, "Oh, are you still around?" And I wrote him immediately. I answered him back, and you know what I says to him? I said, "Hey, Judah. Hey, how's that pirate situation working out in Brooklyn? I'm listening to 50,000 different pirates in Brooklyn, and they have commercials. How you doing there with your FCC with the pirates, Judah?" But that's what he says to me.
Still around?
He's all sarcastic. Are you still around? So what's up, Pete? How about that? Did you like the memory lane with the ship and everything?
I did. I just wanted to point out a couple of things about the video that you showed, the stuff that wasn't on there. The first day that Chris got there, I don't know if you remember this, but remember we had to put all those tires around the ship?
Do I remember? I'm still bleeding on one of my fingers from cutting those cables.
But Chris got right. The thing I love is Chris got right in. He's like, "Throw me tires," and he's helping us do the friggin' tires. Like,
wow.
Anything to help. He was like,
"Well, that's it." He was fearless, and he contributed to Radio New York International.
Yeah, wow. Absolutely. He helped on that thing, and then we sat around all night yip-yapping, and then it was between the first part of the video and the part where Chris goes down to the studio that Jim and everybody came. So there was I think there was some time in between.
Yes. Do you remember where we went to dinner that night? We
I'm trying to remember. Was that the night we kept trying to find some place to eat and we just couldn't find a restaurant?
Looking for
still open?
A what do you call it? Roast beef place.
We went to that roast beef place, remember?
Riley's Roast Beef.
Is that what it was? Wiley's Roast Beef?
Yes.
Riley's.
Oh, Riley's.
Riley's Roast Beef. Of course, that was the best roast beef sandwich I've ever had.
We all went there. It was you, me, Chris, Ivan, Burke, even Mitch Unger. Mitch Unger, believe it or not, actually paid for his own meal that night. It was unbelievable. He pulled out his wallet.
He didn't go out and buy the roast beef and the bun separately?
No, he tried. He said, "Oh, geez, I could buy a pound of roast beef at the supermarket, and I would pay $1.80 a pound, and then buy a loaf of bread. But all right, it's late. I won't buy my own roast beef."
Yeah, that's not true anymore. The cold cuts are more expensive than the sandwich.
Exactly. Oh, Pete,
but yeah, so that I just to put it in context, like Jim got there way later than when Chris got there alone, and then we were hanging out, and then everybody came.
Yes.
That was a who's who of New York City pirate. It was like a meeting of the 10 families there.
Absolutely. The only, JL wasn't there, unfortunately. JL was the only pirate. New York pirate wasn't there that day.
It was pretty wild. Did
your cousin come? Was Alan Sane up there at all? He didn't come. Wow, what a time! What a time! No, I was wondering if Alan Sane was there at all, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Alan Sane also will have to be a guest on the Pirate Radio Guy podcast. What a show today, Pete! What'd you think of Hank Hayes? Right, Hank became a rat. Hank ratted out Jim. Hank shoots Jim at the end. Judah tells Hank, "Get the gun, Hank." And Hank shoots Jim. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, Jim has been going a little crazy. It's weird. I don't remember there being that many oil tanks at Meat Supreme.
On the roof.
Yeah, well, they're all on the roof.
On the roof, okay.
So how about this?
My memory what it used to be,
Pete, how about the fact that Judah tells Jim, "Take me to the roof," and he brings him up to the roof?
Okay, I'm going to go I don't want to take up too much time, but...
Take your time, we got time.
I said the friggin' papers that they served Jim with, it said nothing about the roof. He should have sued their asses from here to the nation even.
Maybe even the nation. Maybe.
It was later on, we got a chance to sit down, I looked at it, and it said the warrant is for the second floor.
Well, that's how search warrants are.
Yeah, second floor.
They have to precisely say what they're looking for and precisely where they're going to look.
Exactly.
They can't just say the whole building.
Violated the friggin' court order, the bastard.
Judah violated a court order? Or Judah violated a search warrant? No.
What are the odds?
Judah arrested Al Weiner. He arrested...
I know.
Ivan Jeffries, and he arrested whatever the idiot's name was from the Village Voice, and he didn't even have jurisdiction. It was international waters, and he put them in handcuffs and put them under arrest.
Judah was probably good friends with James Comey. They probably got along well together.
You remember the judge yelled at the...
was it Ira Glasser?
I
think it was Ira Glasser, the same judge for John Gotti.
Yelled at the FCC representative or whatever. This is.
Remember that, Pete? When the judge says, "Why is this even?" When they brought them in for to indict them.
Yeah.
And he says, "Why are these people even here? I don't understand. Why are these people even here? Why are they here? I don't see why they've been brought in front of me." And remember, the prosecutor's like, "Well, Your Honor, you see, they have the ship and they have this transmitter, and he says, "Yeah, but they're outside of the United States." I mean,
yes. The judge couldn't believe it.
The ship may as well have been literally halfway between Greenland and England. And Judah would be out there arresting them and bringing them in front of an American judge. That's why the charges were dropped.
They were dropped right there?
Yep.
No, they weren't. It took a while.
Really?
Yes, it took a while. They had to make a motion and this, that, and the other. Remember that, Pete? Well, Pete, thank you so much. All right, we'll talk during the week, because don't forget, Friday we're going to go see some baseball in Allentown, Pennsylvania at Coca-Cola Park. Coca-Cola Park, Pete's sake. All right, we'll talk. It wouldn't be if the fourth person can't come. It would be great if Gymnasium came along.
Before Pete goes, I have a very important question before you go.
Okay.
Yeah, go right ahead.
When I was at your house,
the
double bubble gum.
Yes.
I chew that. I buy it from time to time. How is it that the double bubble gum you had was soft? It's always hard. Everywhere I go, it's hard.
Pete probably buys it in the tub.
I had it in the tub.
No, believe it or not, the tub is very hard. So what I do is they sell small bags of it at the supermarket.
I got a small bag.
A foil bag.
It's hard.
Foil bag? Did you get a foil bag?
You got to go to ShopRite Clinton, then you're good. You know.
I went to ShopRite Freehold.
Is it foil in ShopRite Freehold? Is it a foil bag?
It's not foil. It's see-through.
He says it's see-through.
It's a foil bag. I'll send you a picture of it when we're done here on the side.
And tell me where I can get it. If it's, I didn't see that. Well, maybe it was in foil, so I didn't know. But
it's in. I'll tell you where it's in. The one by me. It's in the snack aisle where all like the gums and candies
are. That's where it was. I bought it, and so I'm breaking my teeth.
You got to look for the foil bag.
I had to do this with the gum. I was like, trying to warm it up, and then
curses foiled again.
That was the most important question I had to ask you.
All right, Pete. We'll talk during the week.
It's a very important question.
Yes,
dental hygiene is involved here.
Send me a digital image.
Yes, I will send you a digital image when I'm done.
And one evidence.
Yes, I'll make it dance. I'll send you a GIF when we're done.
Okay, my friends, I have another video to go to. This one has to do with the coverage of the charges being dropped. All right, thanks a lot for the call, Pete.
Just saying, and I'm gonna run and go watch the video.
All right, we'll talk during the week. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
Bye, ladies and gentlemen. Pete Sake, the one, the only Pete Sake, right there.
Now you can fix the level.
Yes, that's why I left this up. So now I got to go and find the level. See where it went down. It brought it down to 19 gymnasium. It's supposed to be 45.
I like that.
All right, so we were saying how Judah Mansbach commandeered a Coast Guard cutter, went out to the ship, arrested everybody. First words out of Judah's mouth: "Where's Gymnasium and Hank Hayes? Where are they?" Thank God we weren't there.
Yeah.
So now we have some coverage. He wanted
to put us in cuffs.
He wanted us in cuffs. He wanted us in the burning in the sun, dying, no water. This is what the Coast Guard told us. Don't give them any water. Don't give them water. You're in the sun. Jim, the sun, when you're out in the ocean, you got sun like you wouldn't believe. So let's see. We're going to go to some coverage of the eventual result of Judah Mansbach illegally arresting and commandeering the ship. But let's see what happened.
Are off the hook for now.
The U.S. attorney has dropped all charges against the two men who ran the unlicensed radio station from a boat off Long Island. The rusty boat was raided by the Coast Guard last month after Radio New York International had been broadcasting rock music for 5 days. U.S. Attorney Andrew Maloney said the government got what it wanted by getting the station off the air.
Exactly.
So
wait a minute. Whoa. Truer words had never been said. Judah got what he wanted. It was an illegal raid. You do not have jurisdiction. The FCC does not have jurisdiction in international waters. It's outside of the country. But Judah got what he wanted. Tell me what he wanted that he got, Jim. Let's see. Let's make a list. What's the first thing Judah wanted that he got?
He got the station off the air, and he got to destroy the equipment.
Station off the air. Destruction of the equipment. He hit, and those beautiful transmitters, bashed them with axes and a sledgehammer. Judah Mansbach, a one-man wrecking ball, went through that hold, destroying the transmitters, destroying the studio, destroying the equipment, cutting the heliax cable and every cable with an axe.
Making the entire thing inoperable.
Illegally, without jurisdiction. Judah should have been prosecuted, and he's the one that should have been in handcuffs and in jail.
Nothing changed.
But guess what? They dropped the charges, and there it is. The government got what they wanted.
What's happened today is completely consistent with what we have felt in the past, that Radio New York International was a completely legal operation, and when RNI returns to the air, it will continue to be a completely legal operation, not in violation of any laws whatsoever.
Weiner and his partner Ivan Rothstein said RNI broadcasted from international waters and did not need a license from the government. But the Federal Communications Commission said the station was under its jurisdiction and filed charges that could have put the pair behind bars for 5 years. Now that the partners have their boat again and their freedom, they're ready for a comeback.
We will continue to, try to bring RNI back to the air in violation of no laws.
Prosecutors promise if RNI goes back on the air, Weiner and Rothstein will be back in court. Either way, attorneys for the pirates plan to sue the government because they say the Coast Guard damaged radio equipment during its raid.
This is the Federal Communications Commission. You've been listening to the nonsense you've been doing on the air. We know who you are. We're going to get you. I advise you to get off the air.
How about that? How about that, Pope Gymnasium? How about that, Pope?
Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Well, what did happen is the government said to Al Weiner, okay, somebody had to feel bad about it was a raw deal, and that's why they gave him a license to go. They finally granted him a license to go, and that's why he has WWCR. Is that it? No. What is it?
WBCQ.
Sorry, WBCQ.
Yeah.
WBCQ Monticello, Maine, where Al Weiner currently broadcasts right now. And if you go on X, Al Weiner has been advertising. He's been making these little videos where he shows you his transmitters and his studio, and you can buy time on WBCQ. And his main theme on his commercials, which I should start running them, is analog. Go analog. Shortwave is analog. So, but there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. What a day. What a show. This has been a great show, Gymnasium. This has been a fun show. I had a good time. I think Long John had a good time.
I'm worried about you because I think that you're a dum-dum and a large-sized jerk.
I think even Orson had a great time.
I think, no, because of the way it's written, you need to break it up.
Jim, I think you'd agree with me that Orson did a great job directing today. A lot of videos. Orson had a lot of work to do.
Take Crumb out.
Orson, there was you couldn't go to sleep in the booth today, Orson. You had to pay attention.
I have never had a thought which I could not set down in words.
Even Bob the Ooh-Man made a couple of appearances. Howard Cosell, nobody was bigger on RNI than Howard Cosell.
Can somebody talk to me?
Howard, you trying to say something?
I give up.
All right. It's all right, Howard. The show's over. We'll talk about it later. And Wolfman Jack, you can't do a show without Wolfman Jack, Jim.
Well, I'm having a good time tonight. I certainly hope you all are, too.
All right, Jim, in the closing moments, do me a favor and talk for a minute. There's something I want to try to find in the closing moments. So, did you have fun today?
I did. Very good chance I'll be at the compound this time next week.
Ooh, that's soon.
Yeah. I have the 17th I'm shooting for, which is next Sunday. Possibly the 16th, depending on the weather and how I feel. And if I don't feel up to it or the weather doesn't cooperate, but it looks like it's going to be okay. And if I feel up to it, that's my target. The two target dates. I'm not going to go both dates because once I go, I'm there and I don't have to go again. But in worst case scenario, it'll be Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. But I got to be there before Memorial Day. That's my goal.
All right. Would you like to take a ride with me and Mrs. Hayes on Friday? Pick up Pete Sayek.
I could do that.
And go a little further than Pete to Allentown, where there is Coca-Cola Stadium, and see a minor league baseball game there, an independent league baseball game there.
It's possible I could do that. Yeah.
All right, so let's keep that open.
It's going to be open, but I'm going to be packing too at the same time.
Packing, like in case Judah shows up with a rifle and a shotgun,
yes,
like he did in that movie.
Commission.
And is this
listening to the nonsense you've been doing on the air? We know who you are.
Smash my
We're going to get you. I advise you to get off the air.
This is Hancock Street. This is no Mr. Hancock.
This guy, if we had Hancock there to block, he would have Hancock blocked Judah when he was trying to come in to bust the station, and Judah would say, "No, I want to. Is this 2085 West 6th Street? 2085 West 6th Street? No, this not West 6th Street. This is Hancock. This is a meeting place. This is a meeting place." That would have been fantastic. We could Hancock block Judah Mansbach. Hey, I like that. Hancock block Judah Mansbach. All right.
I hope to make up for some of the pain that I've caused others.
All right, Gymnasium. What a great show! I tell you what, this is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun.
What do you think Judah's doing in hell right now?
Listen, I want to point out to everybody that it would be fun if you were to go to what used to be Twitter. Now it's x.com. It's right there on the screen at the moment. x.com/HankAndJim, all one word. We've had that account for many years, so we're going to keep it. And we that's a great place because I try to shoot out warnings whenever we go live, whenever there's going to be a show on our flagship station, vaugh.live/Hank and Jim, and whenever we're going to go live and do this podcast, whenever Pete is on, whenever I decide to do a show, when Jim Nazium goes live, when Bob the Ooh-Man goes live, I send out a little tweet saying, hey, we're going live. That's one way to find out. So it'd be great to sign up and subscribe to us there. But ladies and gentlemen, you can help us in two very important ways. Jim, I say this all the time. We're getting a little more every week. On our YouTube channel, which also we've had since like the mid-aughts. I don't know when the hell I signed up for YouTube with Hank and Jim. On our YouTube channel, if you were to go there and just subscribe. You can like the video or not like it. We're not at the point where likes mean anything. Likes are good.
Yes.
Likes are good.
Yes.
But in our case, before we need the likes, we need the subscribers. So if you look for us, The Pirate Radio Guy, that's it. It's YouTube, The Pirate Radio Guy. I'm going to put a link right here, and I'm going to cross-link it. Hopefully I can do that. Let's find out. If you would just go there. Let me paste it in there, see if it works. No? What is that? What is that? That's nothing. That's not what that is. What the hell? If you could just... We're begging. No, we're not begging right now. But what it is that if we could get... We're almost at 1,000 likes, Jim. 1,000 subscribers. We have 961. 961 subscribers, Jim. Do you believe that?
That's
on YouTube.
That's very close.
If we could get that 39 people, we would literally hit 1,000. And then, it's just a milestone. Okay, you guys. See you later, Jim. Thanks for doing the show. No, it's all right. I might still be here babbling. I'm babbling because I'm trying to get a link to share. Here we go. I'm going to share with the thing. You hit the... Okay, I'm about to do it. Oh, let's see if this is it. Let's see. So everybody first go to YouTube. We got two places for you to go. The first thing you do is go to YouTube and subscribe to the Pirate Radio Guy channel. And you could even subscribe to the podcast. See, we have a lot of fun. And now, for our YouTube friends, right? For our YouTube friends, I'd like you to go, and everybody else, I'd like you to go to our flagship channel. Our flagship channel is vaugh.live. Okay? vaugh.live/Hank and Jim. Just put a link in the room. You go to vaugh.live/Hank and Jim and subscribe there, because that is where we do more than just the Pirate Radio podcast on Sundays. Jim Nazium is live playing his brand of rock and roll music for the kids on every Tuesday. Pete Sake is live playing his brand of rock and roll music and jingles every Wednesday. Bob the Ooh-Man opens up the Ooh Lounge every Thursday. Sometimes on a Friday, sometimes on a Saturday, sometimes on a Sunday night, you'll see Hank Hayes playing music and going wild. But those are the places. And I just want to point out one final thing, Jim Nazium, before we run away. Because the FCC is kind of chasing us and we are running away.
They're chasing us off the internet.
They're coming after us and we're running away. Is that we are going to have a get-together and a watch party, and we're going to watch the movie that was almost made. The movie that was almost made about Jim Nazium and Hank Hayes. They combined our characters into one. Happy Harry Hot-On. That's his name. Happy Harry Hot-On. And remember, if nobody had a bigger hot-on, nobody was a bigger hot-on, and nobody had a bigger hot-on than Judah Mansbach. Judah Mansbach had a hot-on for Hank Hayes and Jim Nazium. All right? That's all I'm going to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, on that happy note...
That is a happy note.
No other happy note, and it's just funny that they named the character, the pirate, Happy Harry Hot-On. So, Jim, I hope I hit the correct button.
So do I.
Any final words? Literally, last word?
No last words.
See you next time, folks. Come on over and subscribe.
I might be doing it remotely.
Oh, we're going to have to... I got a lot of work to do this week.
Yes.
Orson, we got a lot of work to do. We got to get Jim Nazium and Pete Sake on remote cameras.
Well, I don't care what he does, but I am in a desperate time situation.
No, I'm not getting you on camera, Howard.
Well, I was out.
All right, let's go. Good night, everybody, and we're going to do a classic RNI Deep Guys sign-off right now.
We
had total control of your radio. Now it's time to leave. RNI Radio New York International. At this time, signs off. Until next time, you'll be back.